Hey plastic model builders, welcome back. This is part 3 of the F-18A Super Hornet from Revell. This is what we did in the last episode. We put stuff together. You know how that goes, right? Wheel wells, intakes, all that good stuff. Anyway, this is what we're doing this week. We are painting the insides of these intakes white. I did them off of the plane because it was easier. We have our landing gear that we're painting as well. I put the landing gear in, but it's not glued down. I didn't want to make it hard to get in and out, basically, because there were parts in there that I want to be able to glue down still. And this, I just felt it was easier, and we can just take these out later. It's easier to assemble a plane sometimes without having the landing gear in the way. That's why I did that. Anyway, a lot of nicks and crannies to get in here. And that's also why I sprayed the intakes the way I did, because you could get on the intake and also on the side of them. So this is the front wheel well. See that, doing this here, you know, fun stuff. This is model making madness at its finest, and we want to make it look pretty. Of course, you see me at the bottom there in the right corner, we are spraying where the ladder goes. Of course, it's got to have a ladder. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. We are spraying the wheel well area. Easier to get it while it's off the plane because you can turn it in all sorts of directions. Once you attach it, it's more difficult to get up inside of that. So that's why we did it this way. Looks good. I like it. We'll pop these wheel wells, or I'm sorry, not the wheel wells, the wheels off. We will pop the landing gear off here momentarily. So here are the exhaust nozzles, the afterburners, and the fan blades. We are going to spray black inside of this, and we'll put some decals on that later on once we go to do the decals on the plane way down the road. So paint the insides of these black. Now we paint the outside a nice steel color. You can do whatever color you want, I don't care. Directions called for steel, so you know I do most of the time what the directions say. So this is the turbine blades, whatever you want to call them, turbine fans. Spray those steel as well. And then of course the afterburner nozzles. Here they are. Get the insides. I have my little rotatey deal there. Works out well. This is the other one. Sprayed it. Probably should have primed it first. I'm probably going to start priming stuff. Priming works better. Anyway, there's the fan blade. We're going to start gluing this down onto the intake. Make sure all your paint is off, of course. Better adhesion. Some people just go with the flow, but you're kind of bonding paint to paint and plastic, and it doesn't always work out well. Parts will fall off. So that's the inside of that. Now we are going to put the afterburner into the nozzle. Very easy fit. Just kind of goes right down like that and press it good. Simple procedure. Those are in. We'll set those off to the side so they can dry later on. So we got our pivot rod. Check the orientation. Make sure you put it in right. It's got little registrations inside. They only go one way for your tail fin stabilizers. So go around the edge here. This is the wing. We want to do the whole plane, at least on the wings. Got this front edge area here. I don't know what that section of the plane is called, where it kind of fins out like that, but I really like the F-18, so why not just do the F-18, which we are. So here we go. Get these little pins. Some of them have boxes on the other side where everything fits together. Be careful, you don't want to move the pivot rod and get glue on that and glue it together, because it wants to move afterwards. It's supposed to move. Make it look pretty, as I said before. So going around the wing, the other side, we'll finish that up here. Come right down the edge of the fuselage. Fun stuff. So if you've ever done the F-18s, this one went together fairly well. It's basically the same as the F-18E by Revell, except it's got 2 seats instead of 1s and an extended cockpit. A little bit more difficult, a little bit more parts, twice as many. 1 extra control panel, 1 extra seat, 1 extra ejection handle, and a bigger canopy glass. So here we go. This is the top part of the fuselage. Get all this. You can see that little crevice there. You want to get on the inside of this, not on the top. Here are the pins. I guess the other ones were boxes. So you see this slides right on top. Press it down all the way around. You can put some extra glue in there if you want. I'm going to use some clamps here and clamp this down That way it stays. Now give it one good push in here, by the way, just to make sure that goes in. Had a little bit of trouble with that, but it'll snap. It's kind of like a snap type, but not. So there we go. Put our clamps on, just wherever you feel you see the model popping up that needs a little extra additional holding. That's what I do. So we'll put that down there, put a clamp here, put some more clamps on. There's all the clamps. Some of them popped off, but had to put them back on. Not a big deal. All right, so we are going to mask off the inside of this intake the best we can, because some of it that's white actually goes light ghost gray. So put some, I used paper towel. I'm never going to use paper towel again because, as I've read earlier, you know, it does have fibers. They dust up in there. So maybe foam would be better from now on. I'll probably start sticking some foam in there, maybe putty, whatever works. Probably foam, it'll pop right out. But we're going to do a light ghost gray around the inside, and you can see it there. Just take out the colors. You can see the difference from white to light ghost gray. Here's my tape. It was fun putting that in there. All right, so it's time to put on the front fuselage. Again, get all your paint off because you don't want to be bonding paint to paint. You want plastic to plastic so it melts together. This thing was kind of fun to get on. If you remember in the last video, we had to etch out that little area. Why? So this can fit together nice and smooth, because you see the pins right there that this front fuselage goes on to, especially when you turn it this way. There we go. One on each side, and comes in handy. So put our glue on this right here, get a little bit on the underside and the back, of course. Glue goes everywhere. Lots of mating surfaces. I didn't really use a lot of putty on this model. In fact, I probably didn't even use any, just because I was like, you know what, I think it'll look good, and we'll try weathering and see if weathering hides it. You know, from about 2 feet away, you can't even tell that there's a seam there. And that's the main important thing. So slide this on. The nose kind of goes under that piece right there, the front cockpit, and it rests on top. And then you kind of got to push it in and then snap in the 2 sides. That's kind of the best way to do that. So you see me just get a good grip on it, push it ever so slightly, and those are the seams I left right there. And we'll just pop it in. There we go. Watch this. Boom. Done. Looks good. I like it. Not bad. You could probably put some filler in there if you want to later on down the road. All right, so we are going to put on our intakes. These are kind of fun because they're like flat and they go right inside, and then you have to twist the intake to get it in to fit inside of the whatever you want to call that, where the intake goes. I don't know, because they got the wheel wells there, but really we all know engines have to go there also. So just go all the way around. We're going to take our intake and just lightly put some glue here, little glue on this because that's a mating surface. The others are part of the wheel wells, mate here. Those are for stability. That's why they're on there, those little rivets. That's what you want to call them. And here's one more mating surface right here. We'll just twist this in, kind of has to pop in there a little bit, just like that, and then kind of pull and push at the same time. Put a little extra glue there and press it down. Let the glue set for a second or 5, whatever. And here's the other side. You see me just kind of pull this into place, just like that, and then press it down. Easy. So there you have it. Got our intakes on. Most of this fuselage is done. We're going to put in our 2 vertical tail pieces. Not a lot of glue needed right here, just a little bit on that. The insert, more right there. And then you can just put a little bit down here. Take your tail fin, stick it in, just like this. Make sure they're even. Take the other one, put that in. By the way, this video is almost done. Just thought I'd let you know that. I do thank you for watching all of this, because you know otherwise you might miss something. So here's our right wing tip, left wing tip. That's the left wing tip. So just make sure your orientation is correct for that. That slides in just like so. Remember, you'll know it's right because you'll see holes on the other side for pylons and stuff. So here, just taking some bombs. These are the pylons because we're going to put these on. There are 3 on each side, and then some hinges and more hinges. These are not going to get used until later, but these will get used right here. Those are the aileron hinges, flap hinges, big flap, little flap. And then the aileron hinges. So here you go, you see each hinge there were 3 different sizes, starting with the smaller one. Put the smallest one down first, then the medium sized one. You got this right here, the aileron hinge. I do it 2 different methods here. One method, I do all the hinges first and then put in the deals, the pylons, and then I go back on the other side and I just go right down the row. I think it's easier to kind of do the hinges first. So here's what I'm doing. So like I said, we're going to put this in. Now after this, we'll put in a pylon or a hinge right here before each pylon. If you do it in reverse, it leaves you little room to maneuver that hinge, so it makes it a little harder. So here you go, put in the next size hinge. Now we're going to put in one more pylon, just like this. And on the last one, we will put in a hinge, then the pylon. Again, on the other one, we just kind of go all the way through. So here, put in the very last hinge. This is the largest one. By the way, the hinges are all the same number, so they go either or. There's no right or wrong number to put those in, just as long as you get the right sizes in there. It's kind of hard to mess up, of course, because they have the right holes there too. So there is the final pylon on that left side of the wing. Here we are putting in a hinge, pylon. Now we are going to do another pylon because we're just going left to right, which leaves us a little room on that side. Don't do that. It's a pain. And now our aileron hinge and our other hinge. Guess what? Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Coming up next, see this? I'm going to clean the canopy, paint a lot of parts, paint our plane, put some blue on there. Thank you for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. And until next time, see ya.